it isn't. And you say, but that was Elijah. Well, I'm just me. I feel like a jar of clay. I feel like just a weak individual, a weak human being. God says he's put this treasure in these jars of clay. And Elijah was a man just like us, but he prayed. Don't think that Elijah didn't wrestle with sin and lust and all the temptation of this world. It says Jesus himself was tempted in every way that we are tempted, yet he was without sin. But it's because these people knew that there is power in the throne of grace. There is grace to be had to break through in every situation. There's no battle that you are facing individually. There's no battle that we're facing corporately. There's no battle that we're facing in any nation or all the nations of the earth that cannot be prevailed upon by his grace and power if we will just dare to believe. We have to fight the fight of faith. You see, David was a hero in the Old Testament. But there's another man who won one of the most incredible testimonies. And it wasn't just him, it was his whole generation. Because think about it, there are generations of glory. Generations like the founding of America, but that generation didn't come without that first great awakening. And those were dark times indeed. People think, well, those were great days. No. A man like John Wesley and Whitefield and Edwards, they were mocked on the stage. They were ridiculed. They were treated like dung because the generation had gotten wicked and perverse. But these people caught a glimpse of God. And they let that spirit burn in them with holy fire, and they held nothing back. They were not timid. They were not cowardly. They didn't make excuses. They went in his name, and they made history. And we can do the same thing. Oh, he says, I'm being called home to headquarters, and I'm giving this baton to another generation. And he writes, I'm already poured out as a drink offering, and the time of my departure is at hand. He says, I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. Finally, there's a crown of righteousness laid up, there is laid up for me the crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will give to me on that day. But not only to me, but also to all who has loved his appearing. Paul is saying, Timothy, run, fight the good fight of faith. Don't give up, don't lose heart. We've taken territory, and my expectation is you're going to take more. My charge to you, Timothy, is see all this territory I've taken? Yeah, don't lose a single bit of it, but go and take more. In order to see this happen, though, we have to have strategies, don't we? We have to have strategies, and that is the first strategy, is prayer. You see, you look at in Egypt, how it was as hopeless could be. The cries of his people, oh God, have mercy. Oh God, have mercy. Oh Lord, have mercy. I know it looks impossible. I know it looks like the foundations have been destroyed. But God, have mercy, and if you will come down, this whole tide will shift. It's his anointing that breaks the yoke. Yes. This is why Life Springs Church, we have these prayer cells going. Why we're praying together day in and day out. It may not be so visible, but we've got to have a radical commitment to prayer. It's not enough to just say, yes, I believe. Yes, I believe that God answers prayer. Yes, I believe that God can do it. At some point, we've got to go, as we've heard in recent months, from being spectators to being participants. And that's really where I want to start to bring this whole message home, is what are the strategies for us as a people to win a testimony in our generation? And then how can we practically as a people live that out? Because it's not enough to say, yes, I believe that's true.